Hi, welcome back to our channel. Today, we are going to introduce a really exclusive custom water-cooled workstation with super powerful specs sent to us by Soft. Soft is a South Korean-based company and they design and build this complex workstation. In this video, we are gonna compare the performance with a similar characteristic computer but cooled by air. This workstation has a slick aluminum design that makes this case strong but really light. This is very important because the water cooling components themselves, they add a lot of weight. The only downside is that we need to be very careful because aluminum is easy to bend and to show scratches in the surface. In the front, we have the power button, two 10GB Ethernet ports, one management port, two USB 3 ports, one serial port, one VGA port, a total of 8 drive bays, and not one, not two, not three, but 4 4090 graphics cards with a total power consumption of 225 kilowatt-hour. Okay, so now we are gonna take a look at the back of the computer, and we have not one, not two, not three, but 4 power supplies, redundant with 1300 watt. Here we have 2 radiators that help to keep this case cooled, and also they can make this really nice design. Normally, this kind of workstations need to be installed in a rack, but this option gives the flexibility to smaller companies that have limited space. You can easily move it around the office thanks to the included wheels and handles, but in case you don't need to move it around, you can integrate it in a server rack, changing the handles. Let's check out how easy it is to turn it into a rack server. Okay, so each handle has 2 screws, so we are gonna get rid of them and we are gonna install it on the front. Let's start. Okay, before installing, we need to remove these screws on the front. And now we can proceed to install right away the handles. Okay, so now we have the workstation ready to be installed on a server rack. As you can see, we could only change the handles and now it's really easy to install. I bet that you cannot wait to see how the inside looks.
We can find 4 RTX 4090 GPUs with their tubing, 256 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and 1 TB of M2 SSD. If we look closer, those water blocks are all custom made by Soft, both GPUs and CPU. All the water-cooled components get connected to the distro block, separating the hot and cold channels, offering a more efficient cooling. We could customize this build to have an AMD Ryzen CPU and 7 graphics cards, or even using 2 Intel Xeon CPUs and 6 graphics cards.
So after taking a look inside the server, we are gonna start the comparison with the air-cooled one. So now we are gonna use a program called GPU Burn to take a comparison and to check the temperature and the fan noise of both options. It's time for these 2 monsters to compete. Here we have a tower with a similar configuration, 4090 with turbine made for servers but with an Intel CPU configuration. Let's start with the test. The water-cooled option can keep the temperatures really low and stable. The performance is really consistent and it can be a perfect option for training AI models or other really heavy workloads. The sound can be a problem if we expect to have this equipment in an office, so we would recommend it to have it in a different room. The air-cooled option is having the hardest time to keep the temperatures under 90 degrees. From the beginning, it's struggling. So even though the temperature is within the specs, I wouldn't recommend to keep the graphics cards in these temperatures during months or years because they may get damaged and lose performance. Also, the sound is comparable with the water-cooled option, but I feel that the noise is not as uncomfortable as the other option. In both workstations, we could try switching and tweaking the fan configuration to find the perfect point between cooling and noise. After all the tests are completed, we can try to bring some conclusions. The positive points of the water-cooled options: stable temperatures, maximum performance, it's possible to overclock due to the low temperatures, system longevity, size and form factor, and that is using a more efficient power use. The biggest down point is the price, and sometimes the uncomfortable noise. We are using a full custom build and the components are really expensive. But in case that we have problems with space and we need high performance, this is the best option. For the air-cooled option, the positive points are lower price, easier to upgrade or downgrade, highly available components, easy maintenance, and less weight. After all the tests and the comparison, we are really interested to know what option would you choose and where and for what you will use this kind of workstations. Also, which one do you think that is less noisy? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching and we will see you in a new video. Bye!